If your Facebook group or Skool community is more like a graveyard and there is only crickets, then it's because you don't know this skill that I'm going to teach you in this video. Hi there, my name is Evelyn Weiss. I've generated over 8 million online, over 61,000 customers, over 34,000 paid subscribers. And like I said, in this video, I'm going to teach you a very specific skill that will help you to get engagement off the ground. All right, so to do that, we actually have to jump into a brand new community I just created where I was getting the engagement off the ground. And so currently I am running the program that I showed you in another video that I created and sold within a few hours. And as part of that program, I have started a brand new, soon to be membership business in a new niche with no audience, B2C from scratch. Right? And so this is this here. We want to blur the name because I don't want you guys to join from the YouTube video. It's, still in experiment, but I want to show you what has happened in here. So I started it 2 weeks ago and we are just getting on the second page of posts being in the community, mostly intros. I've grown it to 394 members. And I have done that purely with Facebook ads. It was so busy, right? I have my main business and then I have the side project. So I knew I have to go with Facebook ads. And basically I used the sales campaign optimizing for complete registration to grow this free community. And to offset the cost, I introduced, here you can see I made some sales. I introduced some accountability and clarity offers. And then so here you see the 7-day WhatsApp support, etc. Right now, I'm not breaking even just yet, but it's also because, I could have upsold into like one-to-one coaching from there. And with just one of the clients that's so far in here, I would have covered the cost more than, but I ultimately want to build just a membership business. So I don't want to right now sell my time to offset the ad cost quicker. That would actually set me back here on this journey. But this is what has happened so far. So I've grown it with ads. And then to engage it, I have first had a start here post where I recorded a nice video of myself. I just said to please check out the video. And in there, I asked to please introduce themselves. And so a few people have actually introduced themselves, 13 introductions, and a few people already sharing their things. So, it's a very small percentage of people actually introducing themselves. And it's an even smaller amount of people that are engaging and sharing. I'm sharing this with you, first off, to set more realistic expectations with you, right? So for me, this community is actually quite engaged based on all the other communities that I see. Now, after I posted this introduction post, there was no post in the community, right? And it's obvious because nobody wants to be first to post. And this is now the skill that I want to teach you in this video. You need to go first, always. There's this song, I think, from the Bloodhound Gang. It's like, show me yours, I'll show you mine. You always need to show yours first, okay? So you need to get naked and do the thing that's embarrassing first, okay? Or that you think is embarrassing, because actually it's not embarrassing. So when we had 15 members in here, I was making a post and I was saying, 50 members, thank you so much for being here. And then I was like, hello, everyone. I know it's still quiet in here, but that's all right. We're just getting started. I'm so excited to welcome 15 of you within the first day of officially opening. Did anyone already have a chance to peek into the foundations course? If so, please let me know what you think. Right now, I have a lot coming up in my personal identity work around the relationship layer, right? So first, always come from a place of appreciation and gratitude. Like, one of the things that I see why people are struggling is they feel like they're entitled to people's engagement, which is to me like the weirdest thing. Like nobody owes you anything, right? Even if you're giving all this value for free, like you decided to do this. I really struggle to help people when they're like upset with their audience, right? That they're not doing the thing that they want them to do. Trust me, make that switch to just appreciating every little thing you're getting, and you see what's appreciated appreciates. So definitely you have to come from that mindset. Okay, and then I'm going right away into the, I show you mine, you show me yours. Right now, I have a lot coming up in my personal identity work around the relational layer. I'm visiting my mother and my grandfather who's rapidly declining with dementia, and a lot is surfacing through that. I feel drawn to work on a few tools around that next. Tools for relationships, parents, partners, children, grandparents, peers, people from your past who still influence you. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you, or if something else you prefer to explore. Again, thank you for being here. I just linked back into the content. But this piece right here where I open up, we want to open up in a very specific way. Like another way where people are going wrong with this is they're making this a pity party for themselves. I'm giving the context here, but I'm leaving ambiguity as into like how I'm feeling about that, right? So I'm not saying I'm so sad because it's like that, because I don't want to trauma dump on my audience, which unfortunately is something that I see so often happening. You want to be valuable because of how you're holding yourself through that situation. Don't be needy, as in, I need something from my audience. You share, you show, you are transparent, you're making yourself naked in that sense, right? That's why I say, show you mine, you show me yours. But that does not mean you drama dump on your audience. And it's a very small line. Okay, so you want to be mindful as in what's the intention behind that post? Is it to really open up, as in what's going on? Or is it because you want sympathy? Like, we're not looking for sympathy here. We're looking for real connection, and we're looking to making us naked. The value that we're giving is the insight that we're giving. It's the proximity to our heart and mind that we're giving. This is immediately valuable for people. You wouldn't think that because you're like, oh, I just started this community and there are strangers in there and why do they care about me? But you already have a role of authority just by being the group owner. It's also something I discussed in my interview with Calvin Hollywood. You have a much higher status than you think, and you need to lower that status. You need to really be who you are, right, with them on that journey. And that's the skill that you need to learn, is how to do that. How do you open up in that nuanced way that it's actually allowing everyone to open up and to feel welcome? And this was actually the first couple of comments that I got here. And after that, the first introductions started to go in. So I then next delivered on my promise. And I want you to pay really close attention between this and the other post that I'm going to share with you. So I did do the work around the relational layer, and I did work out a complete workshop. I can't believe it's like only 2 weeks old, the group. That feels already forever ago. I did work out a complete workshop, including a big blocks cheat sheet and a protocol and additional resources that I added to the community. So that was, a big package that I gave them. Where I was live, I think I had 12 out of those people live, which I was very grateful for. And now when we're looking at the video on YouTube, 48 people saw it. Basically, it got 4 impressions. So the most people here are definitely from the community. A little bit more than 10% bothered to check out the video. And then here you can see 15 likes, 5 comments. So obviously, giving value is not what drives engagement. Because look what I did shortly after. I show you mine so you can show me yours. So I did the number one thing that keeps me from tracking, which is one of the core things that I encourage them to do in here. And then I was like, hi, lovely members. I've been paying attention to when I'm tracking versus when I'm falling off track, or when it feels particularly hard to do so. Usually when I've done something that doesn't align with my vision for myself, and these can be the smallest things like being late on the task I wanted to tackle, I tend to delay, postpone, or skip tracking altogether. Something about looking at it feels so painful that I'd rather close my eyes completely and slip into autopilot. When this happens, I become less conscious and tend to rebound into old self-sabotaging behaviors. I realized I'm almost using it as a form of punishment. So this week, one of my goals is to track regardless, and one of the actions I want to focus on is simply sitting with that shame. I'll report back. P.S. Took a screenshot of what ChatGPT had to say about this. This is me showing up completely vulnerable to them. Again, not asking for pity, just sharing what's going on for me, sharing my insight. This is where the actual value is, right? It's my insight that I realized that, and they're learning through me telling that story. I'm telling it from myself first. It takes off that pressure from everyone else to be perfect in there. And I attached those screenshots from ChatGPT that were really, it's feedback and I think also helpful. And now I want you to look at the comments. We had so many answers. And these are not cookie cutter, nice work, good job, Evelyn. These are really deep answers, and members start to even go back and forth with each other in here. I could have done a better job here responding to everyone and asking a question back, but I got sick shortly after, so I was just making sure I'm liking and showing my, again, appreciation for this. But this, you guys, is the skill. This is the you go first that you need to understand. Look, 38 likes, 17 comments. It took me what? 10 minutes to write this post. It took me what? To create this? 2 days, right? Not saying that this is not valuable, but for this value to even be received, I need to do this work. That's how you drive engagement. That's the thing that you are missing. And then I followed, of course, up on this. And this is just yesterday, so I think this will build up more. All or nothing thinking, right? So I was doing, as I said, and I'll report it back on this. I am going first, and then I'm leading back into the what we're doing here. I'm being the permission, and I'm being the mirror, and I am being the student that takes it the most seriously. I just let others write off my homework, and with that, I inspire to actually engage. We had comments and we had members commenting back. And again, this is how you start to get the engagement off the ground. Of course, later on, you do small engagement posts, but it's all about making people feel good about their progress and being here and understanding that like the smallest progress is a win. The first post that I had was sharing a win. Second post was about progress. Third post was about progress. This is about progress in like the easiest way possible. So raise your hand if you've been tracking at least once a week. Let us know and let's celebrate you. Really going in. And even if somebody's like, oh, you know, I haven't done this, I'm like guilty. I'm like, hey, but you've commented under this post. So it's, you know, you're still paying attention. It's just appreciating and reinforcing the positive and making sure that you are showing up in a way that inspires and gives permission. And you go first, right? You go first in all your imperfection, because that's what actually creates the connection. The rawness and realness, and really being sure that you are coming from the right place of empowering them by putting your status down in a very authentic way. If you're really honest with yourself, there's probably still a lot of work for you to be done. And again, also not in a way that you are fishing for sympathy or something. Your whole goal is to empower. This is where then your value, the actual value that you create, can land, right? So there is already so much value in your role modeling and in your earned experience and in your earned insight. And that is the foundation to receive any more productized traditional value from you, because now you become a trusted source. So I hope you found this helpful and hope you give it a shot. And yeah, report back, let me know how it goes, and check out any other video. Thanks and bye for now.